Welcome! We have a really exciting video for you guys today. And with the onset of spring, spring is sprung, and our allergies are also springing into action. So we have brought our good friend, Ms. Karen Aladdin from Meridian. This is where we go for our acupuncture and our cupping and all things wellness that Karen will help to dive in and poke us until we're better. So we thought, we live in one of the worst cities in America for allergies, and we thought, well, let's just get Karen in here and talk about how we can manage our allergies. Thank you for joining us today in the studio.
Thanks for having me back in the closet.
Of course.
Okay, so tell us why we get out. We're talking about seasonal allergies here too. So, why do we get seasonal allergies? What happens in the fall and the spring?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just in Kentucky, environmentally, we have a wide array of trees. We're considered a deciduous rainforest, which is really cool. We have so many trees in our area, but that also means, well, with the deciduous trees, that means there are different times that they bloom. So we have a wide variety of things that we could be allergic to. Okay. So, and especially with season changes in general, that's when we want to take care of our immune systems, because when the weather changes or when there's a change in the pressure system, I think a lot of the time people don't realize how much energy it takes to sort of adjust to the seasons. And so when our energy's down, our immune system's down, our allergy symptoms will show up even more. If you think about when we get a runny nose or watery eyes, it's really our body's way of trying to keep any of those bacteria or pathogens out, because our mucous membranes are lining with mucus so that nothing can come back in, or our eyes are watering to blink things out. So allergies they're kind of annoying symptoms, but they're our body's immune system's way of keeping things out of our bodies.
That's amazing. Our bodies are it always amazes me how smart our bodies are.
Right.
So what are some smart ways that you tell your clients that they can combat seasonal allergies based on what their symptoms are?
Based on what their symptoms are. I mean, obviously people have different ways that they react to different things. And I liked how Shannon said it's about managing those symptoms, because people will have allergies and have allergic reactions to things, but it doesn't have to take over your life. It doesn't have to interfere with your work or your school or anything like that. So a lot of it will be about boosting your immune system and how that affects your body's energy as a whole. And so that has a lot to do with our air quality in general. So you can control the air quality in your home if you can do that as much as you can with HEPA filters, or also changing sheets often, or vacuuming, that kind of thing.
Oh, blast. I'm in trouble.
Yeah. And then of course our gut health, because that's the other way that we get all of our energy into our body, is with the food that we eat and the food that we fuel and nourish ourselves with. Mm-hmm. Maybe certain foods make you more tired or make you a little bit flummy or more congested. That's something that we can sort of help you become more aware of, or help you figure out alternatives so you can avoid those foods this time of year if it's really bothering you more.
What are some of those foods?
Dairy is a big one, because it makes the phlegm stickier, so you don't want that to be clogging up your system.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Heavy fried foods, foods that you sort of feel tired afterwards, because that's kind of taking more of your body's energy to digest it and process it than it's actually giving you energy.
Okay. It feels good going down, but it's
does.
not good once it gets inside.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I brought little things here that are things that you can do at home. This is a jade gua sha tool. It's smooth. This is something that's used. Gua sha is something that we do for any part of the body if there's congestion in the tissues. So we say that even if you have a knot in your shoulder, or knot in your some tightness in your muscles, it's good. It's a scraping method. You put some massage oil on the area, or coconut oil or something, and you scrape the area. You can do it lightly, you can do it more vigorously depending on what part of the body it's on.
Okay.
And that helps kind of break up the congestion in the tissue. So, and that can help relieve some pressure. You can kind of move out. You want to maybe move towards like the orifices, right? So towards the ears where things can actually kind of like
And you're not like
out.
pressing down super
No,
hard.
so
Just
it's
like,
like-
do on my arm
Yeah.
how hard.
So
Okay, it's
super light.
like
yeah.
we're saying like 10% of your
Yeah, super
Normal.
light. You can even, I think this is a really helpful one, like to kind of like move some stuff down. You can do a little bit harder on your neck. This is actually one of the things that we do if someone is starting to feel sick.
Okay.
So if they are like, I think I'm getting a cold, this is great for the immune system anyway because of how it moves that lymphatic drainage. We do this to break things up and so that your body can release it out.
So is hydration key when you're trying to release all this out and like move
Yeah.
it through, or what?
Yeah, you want to keep hydrated because if all of the mucus and things that are congested in your sinuses, you want to keep moving clear fluids into your body. So hot and warm fluids will move through your body better because we're warm-blooded. So
If you caught our newsletter last time,
Yeah.
you should have
Yeah.
seen that.
yeah, so like I think that having, and it's even like having hot teas can help loosen up some of that phlegm that might be in your throat.
Okay.
So yeah, the gua sha is one.
And where can you find a gua sha?
I actually got that off Amazon, so you can find that
yeah,
pretty
Amazon.
much. And this I got off Amazon too. There's a lot of, like beauty product resellers that have these for a lot more money. But it's really, you just kind of want to make sure they're smooth, that they have like, no bumps that would irritate your skin, and that it's, sometimes you can keep it in the fridge if you want it to be really cool. Because that's really nice, especially if you've got like puffiness and you're irritated. It feels good to sort of like move some of that, and the coolness can kind of help like calm some of that inflammation that you might be feeling. So same motions that you would do with the gua sha tool, you would do with the jade roller.
And you could do like as you're doing your skincare routine,
Yeah.
serum on, and you're like, oh look, I'm also getting rid of my sinus issues.
I know.
And
I'm a
these
big
are-
fan of those sheet masks.
Oh,
and so
yes.
if I have a sheet mask on, I'll do this while the sheet mask
Yeah.
is on, so it's like absorbing all the stuff,
Oh, and it's like a
but
2 for
also
1.
moving all the
Yeah.
fluid.
Love it.
So, and you can use this on your kids as well.
Yes, these are all things that you can use for all ages. Just kind of depends on if they'll sit through it. This is another one that's kind of similar. Also,
I love these.
these are the facial cups, and you kind of just squeeze it to create the suction, and so it's just a gentle suction because it's just your face. You don't want to leave any like marks on your face, but you would usually put like serum or an oil on your face so that they can slide. This is really great because the suction, if you have pressure in your sinuses, you can really find a lot of relief with it. This is great for loosening tension in the muscles in your jaws and temples. So you can do this, and the smaller ones are great for the areas that are a little bit smaller, like finer around the eyebrows, the flatter areas here that you can kind of still move fluid. Any pressure that's building up in the
And you guys offer
forehead.
this service at
Yes, we do this
I've had
at-
this done, and I love it.
It feels amazing.
It
You
does.
love your
You're
face
so
touched.
relaxed.
Yeah. And when because it does draw new blood into your face, so you
Yeah.
do feel so rejuvenated when you walk out.
Yeah. You feel like a new person.
So, in addition to services they have at Meridian, they also offer teas and special herbs to help combat
Yeah.
these allergies. So, let's talk about those.
Yeah, so the herbal medicine is a really big part of our practice. So a lot of the time with any symptoms that people are coming in with, we want to look at the root issue. So we want to treat both the root and the branch. So the people come in with the branch, like, this is my problem, these are the symptoms, make this go away. So we have herbs, acupuncture, cupping to help with that part of the process. But the important part of the process so that it doesn't continue to happen is treating the root. And the herbal medicine is really the key part of it. This is chrysanthemum flower. This is a really delicious, mild, flowery tea. So I even sometimes drink this on its own, just as a hot tea. I'll put the flowers in a teacup, add some hot water and steep it, and this is something that I'll sip at home, usually at night. So redness in the eyes or irritation in the eyes, that's super helpful for that.
Okay.
The goji berries are really helpful for the dryness aspect of it. They're very blood nourishing herbs, so it's good for dry eyes. So I like having them together or just kind of steeping them together on something that I sip on throughout the day. Like having goji berries just floating in your water is delicious.
Huh.
So that's really
Try
yummy.
that today.
I will try that today.
A treat.
I love
Yeah, or if you have peppermint in the spring, peppermint and goji berries is a nice little combo because it's like minty and sweet.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
opens it up too. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of the things that we have too that are helpful, like some of the herbs, like this one is honeysuckle. This is something that's helpful for clearing that heat, and so allowing that heat to calm down so those hives can calm down, or any of those like green, yellow, phlegmy episodes can get clear again and then easier to knock out. Yeah, so, and the acupuncture is helpful for that too. If you've
Yes.
got a lot of sinus pressure and yeah, and most people are curious about the needles.
Yeah, why would?
So I brought two examples. So this one is the one that I use most for like the body points, and this package has 10 needles in there, if you can kind of see.
They're very little.
Like in comparison to
Yes.
like a sewing needle, how much thicker is a
Oh,
sewing
yeah.
needle than
Like,
that?
Well, the way that I compare it is like most people, when they think of needles, they think of the ones that they get shots with. So that's like a hypodermic needle that is hollow. So all of these 10 needles, the part that actually goes in your skin, all of these can fit inside one of those hypodermic needles holes. This is one that I typically use for the face. This is even thinner, and it has a plastic handle, so it's a little lighter. So I like using that for the face because the weight of it doesn't like pull on the skin. So they're all in these little guide tubes, and that helps us kind of like tap it in really quickly. So I'm just gonna show you really quickly how thin it is.
So little.
It's like they're flexible, they're solid. So, you know, we don't feel them as much if they're solid versus hollow. So they're super tiny. So I use these a lot for like sinus points. Those are awesome, and those are actually some of the few points where you're like, oh, I get instant gratification. Like I can breathe even just like once I'm sitting on the table with them for a few minutes. You're like, oh. And then cupping, which I love, and we talked about in the last time that I was here, but another great way of moving congestion in the tissues. So I do this typically over the back. If someone is coming in with allergy things, I'll do it over the area of their lungs, so over their whole rib cage on the back. So this is really great for moving that lymphatic drainage again. Having the suction from the cups is helpful for loosening up any of that stuff that's kind of like been tight. For if you're coughing a lot, if you're sneezing a lot, you just tense up really tight. And so this can help kind of like loosen those muscles, loosen those intercostal muscles that are around your whole rib cage, so that you can get a more effective breath and a more effective cough. So when you are trying to like move that mucus out of your lungs, you can actually move it out effectively if you're not as like constricted. And then I love the silicone ones as well, if we're treating kids. So I've done this to my daughter who's 3.5 before, because she's gotten some phlegmy stuff, like I think she's getting some seasonal allergies in the spring.
So how long do you recommend if you're going to try this at home? Like start at 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah,
And then just maybe
yeah,
see
depending
how
on
that-
how
how
like
it goes.
how cool they are sitting still.
And you're moving, you're not like letting it stay stagnant, right? Like
You can let it stay stagnant
Okay, you
too.
can. Okay.
You can let it slide if you want it to let it slide. So it kind of depends on like, you know, how you can just watch them too. Like you can see how the color changes. If it's feeling like, oh, it's getting a good like pink, like they're releasing some heat.
I'm kind of nerding out right now that this
Me
is something you can do with your
too.
kids. I'm like,
Yeah.
Because it's one of our favorite things to do. and-
yeah, and my kids always ask, they're like, Mama, you love your cupping. I'm like,
Yeah.
I do. I love
You should
it.
try
Yes,
it too,
I know.
right?
This is so fun.
Yeah, and this is such a nice, safe way to do it. You know, it's not breakable. These go in the dishwasher, awesome, because they're silicone. But yeah, the herbs are super helpful for like maintaining. A lot of the time, people will come in who they know, like, okay, March and April are bad for me. They'll start taking the herbs maybe in January or February, so that they can curb that.
Should probably do that.
And how
Problem.
often
Or, like,
do you, if you're having these seasonal allergies, do you need to pop into Meridian and help move this stuff along?
Once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. That's great for maintenance. If you're experiencing something that's like, oh, I feel awful, I need to clear this out, you might want to come in like a couple times in a short period of time, like maybe like a week apart or something, just to make sure we're moving that through and it doesn't become something worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cool.
this has been so educational.
Thank you so much for
Thanks for having
stopping
me.
by,
Yeah,
Karen. This is so
fun.
great.
All right, if you want more information about Karen, you can check out, she's in one of our archived episodes. I don't know the number, but yeah, she's there. Karen Latin. Just search for us in the search box under iTunes and you'll find her.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.